what I shared last night, I took screenshots. I want you to read a couple of these messages that was sent to me yesterday. Okay?
On X.
On X. Yeah. I want you to, like, this is the kind of stuff that, can you put the camera on Vinny to get his reaction? Okay. These are the types of DMs I got last night.
So,
Actually, read it to yourself. Okay.
I mean, that's I wouldn't be able to say that out loud.
I can't even. I don't even want to read this.
It's
I don't even want to put this out
No,
there. No, I don't even want to put this out.
Death and all that.
But you know what it is, and this is times 100.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so for me, it's funny because I'm not one that is, sitting here trying to side here, side there. This is my position where I stand. I lived in Iran. I saw what happened. You're not going to be able to change my mind. That's where I'm at. Okay. And, Israel's got 15 million people. These other guys got a couple billion people. These guys have access to a lot more power and bots and influence than these guys do. It's just, they're going to be louder. You can't help it. So they're going to be able to show as if this is a better argument than this. Good luck winning that argument, 15 million to 2 billion. It's not 10x the size. It's 150x, 140x the size is a difference. They're 140 times bigger if you compare the two, okay? That's the audience, 130, 140 times bigger. So you can't be naive and not realize, oh my God, but look, that person's getting this many more retweets. And they got, what is the word? There's a phrase that if somebody puts a tweet below you and they get more, views. Ratio. They got ratio. Yeah, of course that's going to happen. You think if I'm on that side, I'm not going to put 1 million bots to work? There's places there's businesses for this. But if I have someone on that Israel is furious, like let's just say if I have Nick Fuentes on, you know what Israelis are going to say? So disappointed in you. I can't believe you sold out. I can't believe you did this. They're going to say those types of things, okay? And maybe even try to actually get the interview to be flagged, okay? Like when we had Tommy Robinson on Minnect, story came out from the Times. I don't know if you have the story, Rob. Type in the Times. The Times could type in Tommy Robinson, the Times, and Minnect, okay? So they did a massive story, the Times, okay? With the story. They came. I don't know if people know this or not. Instagram blocked the Minnect account from being able to run ads for a year because of this Times story. Tommy Robinson charging $20 a minute out of his personal coach to the far right, the self-styled anti-Islam activist, and this is from UK. They reached out directly to Facebook to have this happen on Minnect. Go a little bit lower, Rob, if you can go through it. Now, obviously, our lawyers reached out. Everything's getting squared away. But if you go a little bit lower, the attacks they put, they created a fake account on Minnect to ask him questions and videos. And if you watch every single one of the videos, there is nothing that he says that's anything major. Our lawyers watch it. Everybody watch it. Go all the way down, and he talks about me and Patrick Bet-David, the founder of Minnect, and he's doing this. They're sharing all the Minnects publicly, right? Okay. So the UK woke audience wants to get you canceled, okay? Then you got Israel. They may want to get you canceled, but when you say anything that you have Netanyahu on, they want to kill you. Messages like, we're going to find you in the streets and see what we're going to do to you. Who the hell talks like that? Who talks like that? You think a 22-year-old kid learned how to talk like that, or you think his parents talk like that? You think the guy's father talks like that? Who talks like that at the church? You don't talk like that to somebody. But that's the common thing. So last time when everything's done, we're talking about it. I'm asking you guys, here's what I want to do tonight. I went on Twitter. Rob, if you can go on Twitter, and this is what I did. I said the following. This is my style, guys. I said, I'm officially done for the day. Kids are asleep. Tico went to sleep. We're having a great conversation together. I said, ask me any respectful questions about today's interview with PM Netanyahu. I'll answer any questions for the next 30 minutes. Fire away. I went about an hour. Let's go through some of the questions, Rob, if you can show the bottom. So how much did they pay you directly or indirectly? Zero, not offered, no received. We haven't taken any sponsorship money for 2 years.
That's right.
Both sides like to make claims that influencers get money from Qatar or Mossad. Just argue the ideas and don't be lazy to assume money is related. It's money related. Go to the next one. Patrick, respect for taking a direct time. Gut level questions. You've grilled CEOs for one bad quarter. Netanyahu has had 3 decades of quarters, which any surprises, fresh body counts. Rob, can you please press show more? Fix. So here's the scale peeler. If a future leak shows the IDF at heart, real-time drone footage, 347 October 7, and still waited 6 hours to scramble, will you book the PM again, look him dead in the eye, and make this recite timestamps? Dead serious, no gotcha tone. You gave me him stage. I'm asking if you'll hold the stage. Okay, here's what I said. That was a question that I wanted to ask, but Trigger Pod did a good job asking it a week ago, so I didn't see a point in asking the same question twice. Thanks for being respectful. Great. Next. Why do you think all the people who tout just ask questions are trying to cancel you for literally conducting an interview and asking questions? I think X isn't for everyone. I don't blame people for getting emotional whenever an interview is done with Prime Minister Bibi, but I prefer a respectful exchange like the one we're having so far. He's an actual genocidal and will go down in the history books as such. Do you feel dirty having hitched your name to this? Not at all. I understand the sensitivity with an active war that's taking place with many innocent lives being taken. Can't stand seeing any of it. Next, let Bibi know there's a ton of people worldwide that support him. And I said, I believe he knows that, but they're losing the digital climate to their opposition. Unfavorability rate is very high according to Pew Research. Why give him the platform? What are the advantages of that? I'm not one that goes to sleep worrying about who I give the platform to and who I don't. I talk to people I'm interested in. This isn't the first time nor the last time people don't like a guest I have on. There will be many more. Why don't you ask him if he would debate opposition like Nick Fuentes? And why don't you press him? Were you intimidated? I said, I've expressed my feeling about Nick and others. Their approach causes high-stakes situations, downs, to not happen. No one wants to sit down with someone who they know won't have a respectful conversation. He's too capable and talented to use certain words that he does. I think Nick even responded to that. Go in that to see if he jumped into that one or not. Okay, so then go back. Maybe it's a different one. Rob, if you can go back and, okay, as a Christian, as a Christian, how could you do that? You have children. It's painful to see how ugly this was. I lived in Tehran from 78 to 89, saw a ton of things a kid should never see. Breaks my heart and would love to see the whole thing be done. Unfollow, I'll block to make things easier for you.
Good. That was my favorite.
I keep going lower. Does he think his approval rating will improve with Hamas defeat? I'm not sure he's concerned with that. I believe he sees himself as someone that was put on the earth to finish a job on behalf of his people. Agree or disagree, that's how I view his role. Let's see what else is there. Was anything unrestricted? Restricted? Nothing was restricted. Anything else? Even Nick responded. If there's a Nick responded, I wouldn't even mind reading his if you can find it. Maybe it's lost in the few thousand comments. Anyways, so the point is, I want to have this more often. I don't think X is for everybody. I literally don't think X is for everybody. I think X is a place where a lot of people get, let's see right there. Okay, so here we go. You platform Tate and use the same kind of language. Anyone who has seen my interviews knows I'm cordial and respectful, including on your own network with Adam. It's your prerogative, but I don't think anyone is buying this excuse. And Nick, great to see you here. Tate is half black, half white. His father is black. I believe you're white and Hispanic. He's talking about the N-word. Yeah. I may be wrong. By the way, you are cordial in interviews. Adam actually said that. However, you do get carried away post-interview at times when you react. And then is there a follow-up there? Is that it? Okay, maybe that's it. No, okay, seems like the goalpost is moving. Now the issue is that I'm using the N-word in my reaction. Not necessarily. I actually wouldn't mind sitting down and having a conversation with him. I'm just telling.
This is from Nick.
Yeah, what I'm saying to him is he's capable. He's able to improve these words. He doesn't need to do it. He would be able to put himself in platforms to debate. This approach doesn't allow you to be wider. It gets you on the smaller, younger guys. But if you want wider, some things need to change in words. What's the chances of a couple of those guys sitting in front? By the way, even when I sat down with Thomas Russo, how respectful was that guy the way he spoke? Rob, how would you put him in the level of the way he spoke? And you think I sit there and I support the Patriot Front? No. But the guy spoke in a very interesting, respectful way. We had a great conversation together. I'm very comfortable talking to anybody. I grew up in the streets. I'm not uncomfortable with it. But for those who enjoyed it, awesome. For those who didn't and would never want to follow up seeing the interview, there's a few things that Bibi said that he's never said before. One, when asked about Trump, would the Hamas attack happen without, if Trump was the president? That's one. Number two is when I asked the question about the finances, because their debt to GDP ratio went from 60% to 75%, they've spent $130 billion on this war. And U.S. only gives them $3.8 billion a year. I think U.S. has given them $30 billion in weapons that they actually have to buy. So it's actually money coming back that they got the weapons. But for the most part, when you're looking at something like, hey, this debt thing, are you going to come back and ask us for money again? Is that going to be taking place? Tom, what was your thoughts? Because I know you watched the interview apparently a couple times. What was your takeaway?
So there's a couple things that stood out to me that were maybe not directly related only to Bibi. His comments about Biden saying, okay, you can defend yourself on October 7th, but don't go into Rafah. No, I don't want you going into Rafah. And then Blinken calling him a week later and saying, Anthony Blinken, the real president, calling him and saying, hey, we told you about the embargo, right? We're going to, you can't go in there. And he said, look, we have to do it. If we have to fight with our fingernails, we have to do it. You're not the one that's at war here. It just showed how much Biden was kind of out to lunch and Blinken was really the guy that was in the back there.
Yep.
So I saw that. Also, I didn't know, and I looked it up, where he said there are Gazans now fighting against Hamas in their own neighborhoods, and we have helped them. And I looked it up, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Is this one or two guys? Is this three? I wanted to see. And guess what? Multiple sources that are not just the Jerusalem Times were saying that they are arming the individual groups that are out there fighting, and that they're helping the clans, like the Abu Shabab clan, giving them weapons, and like hundreds of guys that are in these clans that are trying to fight for their neighborhoods. I didn't know that. And so I think there was a lot of here, I could sit back and, how do you judge Bibi? How do you not judge Bibi? But when I saw this, there were some things that came out there that he said some things I was able to go research, and I was satisfied that there was, truth behind it. Like I didn't know Gazans were actually fighting for their own area against Hamas and these clans that are armed. Overall, I thought he was pleasant. I thought he was direct. I thought it was a good interview. There's only so much you can do in 40 minutes. And the soapbox at his ex, everybody said, why don't you ask this? Why don't you ask that? Why don't you ask that? I'm sorry, it wasn't a 6-hour miniseries, right? So we can only go so far.
What's great though, Rob, this is the one thing I asked him. I don't know if you guys remember, about 3 months ago, we reacted to this clip, and I wonder what he was going to say. Remember when Trump's like, yeah, we're probably just going to take over Gaza ourselves, and we're going to do this? So watch this reaction. Go ahead, Rob.
He welcomed us.
Certainly with your enemies.
I want to show you this clip. This is a clip of you and the president. You guys are standing right next to each other, and you give a look that you almost didn't know he was going to say this. And this is just personally for myself. I'm curious, did you know the president was going to be saying this? Go ahead and play the clip, Rob.
As far as Gaza is concerned, we'll do what is necessary. If it's necessary, we'll do that. We're going to take over that piece, and we're going to develop it, create thousands and thousands of jobs. And
Beautiful
it'll
jobs.
be something that the entire Middle East can be very proud of. But everybody feels that continuing the same process that's gone on forever, over and over again, and then it starts, and then the killing starts, and all of the other problems start, and you end up in the same place, and we don't want to see that happen. So by the United States, with its stability and strength, owning it, especially the strength that we're developing and developed over the last fairly short period of time, I would say really since the election, I think we'll be a great keeper of something that is very, very strong, very powerful, and very, very good for the area, not just for Israel, for the entire Middle East. Very important. And we'll, again, have thousands of jobs.
Can you pause it? You gave a look where you weren't expecting the president to say that, as if it's going to be our land. Were you surprised by what the president said here?
No, actually I wasn't, but I can tell you that he said something else there. He said, and that had surprised the world, and I thought, again, he cut to the chase. He said, why are Gazans locked in this area, which is just used as a base for attack against Israel for its destruction? That's what the de facto Palestinian state in Gaza was. It was a base for Israel's destruction. It has no other purpose. And it lived under this horrible tyranny, this terror tyranny of Hamas. So he said, why not give people a choice? I mean, in other war theaters, in Ukraine or in Syria or in Afghanistan, millions left if they wanted to. In Gaza, they're locked in. Nobody allows them to leave. And he says, give them a choice. If they want to leave, let them leave. And for those who stay, rebuild Gaza. I thought that was actually a very sensible thing. And it's not our goal now to depopulate Gaza and all these other nonsenses that people say. Our goal is to free Gaza, free it from Hamas, Free it from Hamas tyranny and terror. And you know, we now have Gazans. I'll bet you don't know this, Patrick. We now have Gazans fighting Hamas. And they say, thank God you're here. They didn't dare do that until the final stages of this. They're joining up with Israel. Gaza Kanaka wants
over Gaza.
Invest. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
So you would be okay if America takes over Gaza and it becomes something that we control. You'd be okay with that?
Yeah, but it's an American choice. You know, I don't want to get into that.
But you would be okay with that. So even if America chooses,
look, I'd be okay with any governance that civilian governance in Gaza that doesn't teach its children to annihilate Israel, doesn't pay terrorists. That's what not the Hamas do only. It's what the Palestinian Authority, the other side of the Palestinian people does. They pay terrorists. The more Jews they kill, the more they pay them, and doesn't launch terrorists.
Right there. So that was interesting. So Vinny, can you visualize a day where Gaza is a U.S. territory? Do you see that happening?
With Trump, I think anything's possible, honestly. Because like he said, okay, because my thing is this, and by the way, today, and I told Adam, I had to get another key fixed, not fixed, but another key made for my truck, and the guy came out, and he had a Star of David. I'm like, hey, he's like, what do you do here? What do you guys, and I'm like, Valuetainment, he goes, and I showed him, I go, dude, we just interviewed Bibi Netanyahu yesterday, and he's like, what? And he showed it to me, I'm like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not a big fan, but he's like, all we care about, the real Israel, like the ones that are protesting in the streets, he's like, we just want our people back. He goes, we want our brothers and sisters back from the freaking, the tunnels, and then do whatever you want. But Pat, if you think about it, if Trump's in during it, because I don't know how long this thing is going to last, I could see America having something to do with it because they want security, right? They want to put in a government that's not going to be Hamas. But I think if Trump is gone, it's not going to happen. I don't think that they would do it.
I just want to know from Patrick, but David, how does it feel to know that you've interviewed Hitler twice? You've interviewed Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu.
Double Hitler.
You're just out there Hitlering up.
Yeah.
Here's my take on what Bibi, the interview from Bibi. I've said this many times before. Benjamin Netanyahu is the Trump of the Middle East. He doesn't care if you like him or not at this point. He literally doesn't. Just like Trump doesn't. This might be his last term ever. We'll see. He's the longest standing tenured prime minister of Israel. And much like Trump, he's there to GSD, get stuff done. So what he's doing right now is sort of combating the lies, the hate, and the propaganda that's been sullied against the one Jewish state, which he kept repeating. But just look at the results. You talk about people. Just look at the scoreboard. Yeah, approval ratings are down, but every single combatant that they've played against has lost. Iran is weaker. Syria has been captured. Basically, they're done. The Houthis. Let's see what's going on with them. Hezbollah is done. Hamas. What's left of Gaza? And I truly think that Bibi doesn't care what people think. So we can have all the American podcasters and the woke right or the woke left criticize Israel all they want, but you know what they have not done? Effectuate zero policy change whatsoever. Trump and Bibi, it would seem, are tighter than ever. And here's the last point. People are saying, I can't believe you would talk to Bibi Netanyahu. Can't believe you would talk to Tate. Can't believe you would talk to Nick Fuentes. Friends, enemies, get used to one thing here. We're going to have a lot more of these conversations here at Valuetainment.
I want to know, Adam, what you think. Do you think United States would be involved with building and policy change and government, like leadership, putting some, like, I'm trying to figure out how that would look like if America would go there and build and make it into something, not like Vegas. I don't want to be like make it like that, but make it how
without
much
the drinking.
Well, that's what I'm saying is how much involvement do you think, Tom, that the United States could have in Gaza, which I don't know timeline wise, like everything comes down to what? It's the hostages getting back. That's the number one reason Israel could keep doing whatever it's doing because of the hostages. Do you think?
I think if we know anything about
Tom.
Trump, he'll just throw something out there and see who bites.
Go ahead, Tom.
Bibi used the word governance.
Yeah.
And he said, but I don't want to get into that. That's U.S. choice. So I think at some point in time, someone has to be kind of the calming force. And this usually happens after natural disasters, not wars. You have natural disasters, but you also have UN peacekeeping forces and things like this to kind of keep people at bay. We have the DMZ that was in North and South Korea. And so the U.S. only has so many territories, and they're island territories that we usually ended up kind of assisting economically. U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. John's, St. Croix.
Mm-hmm. You got Guam, Puerto Rico. You got a few of these places.
Samoa, and the one everybody forgets about, which is the Mariana Islands up there by the Marianas Trench in the Pacific. But those are all things that we did at certain times, kind of helping them out. It wasn't like this kind of a fracas going on. But I could see the U.S. with Trump saying, look, we're going to make investment, but we're also going to put some things in place here to be something of a peacekeeping force if you can't determine it yourself. And there is precedent in the Middle East. Egypt and Israel came together on the Sinai Peninsula after Egypt attacked, and then Israel pushed them all the way back and further into their land. And so they did come up with a way to kind of create this demilitarized zone. And I think when Bibi says governance, I think he's welcoming the opportunity of someone like a Trump that says, hey, we'll play a governance role, like get the peace and help get this thing on its feet, but I don't see us governing.
You know who I would want to talk outside of Bibi? I'd love to talk to the leader of Hamas, whoever's there. I'm being actually very serious with you. I'd love to go to Gaza. I would love to go to Gaza. We get protection, go to Gaza. I want to see what's going on there. I'd love to talk to the leadership of Egypt and Jordan, why they're not receiving anybody. Even Trump, some people said he begged Egypt and Jordan to take some Palestinians. Rob, can you verify this from telling
Yes.
Did Trump ask Egypt and Jordan to take some Palestinians and they rejected? Like,
that is correct.
Who has agreed to take Palestinians?
Europeans.
Who has agreed? Oh,
Macron.
Good for them. Can you go to ChatGPT, Rob, and just ask that question you just did right there? It's much faster. Yeah.
I can help you out, Pat.
No, hang on. Let me just see it here.
Okay.
I got you.
No one.
No, but because what I want to do is I want to ask who has interviewed the Egyptian leader or Jordanian leader and ask, why are you not accepting them?
I think the Jordanian
so yes,
king said that he would take in 2,000 sick kids at the most.
President Trump did suggest that Jordan and Egypt take in Palestinians, particularly those from Gaza suffering. And then what happened? I didn't see the last sentence. Here's what. Okay, got it. On January 2026, Trump stated that Jordan and Egypt should take in Palestinians from the war over in Gaza, suggesting it could be a temporary or long-term solution to the humanitarian. He emphasized that Gaza was a mess, and I'd love for you to take on more, addressing Jordan's king with the appeal. He also remarked that U.S. contributed significant aid to both Egypt and Jordan, and although he did not explicitly say he would hold aid, he implied pressure by noting they're going to do it. Jordan, including King Abdullah II and foreign minister, firmly rejected the idea, stating that Jordan is for Jordanians, Palestine is for Palestinians, and that they oppose the displacement. Egypt similarly rejected the proposal, insisting Palestinians must remain on equating displacement. Okay, so have either one of them been interviewed? Can we reach out to both of them? Why are you not willing to take Palestinians?
Well,
have either one of them done a podcast or an interview or long form on why they don't want to receive them? They're neighbors to them. Why don't you receive them? I know Europe is saying yes. Why are they not saying yes? It's a valid question. Who else would it be that would be opposing Bibi there to talk to? Like Vinny, who would you like to see interviewed that opposes Netanyahu?
On the world stage, you mean?
On the world, like
Specific in the Middle East. I don't want to talk to anybody else
Oh.
that's not directly impacted by it. I want to talk to people that are there.
I mean,
know the people.
If you could, I don't know who's the leader of Hamas right now. Do they
That's
have
the
an-
point, is that Hamas isn't doing interviews. They're not doing podcasts.
But I'm saying if he
They're
could-
a
if
terror
we- if-
organization.
I know-
They will send nobody. They hide their faces in masks. They're not there to give interviews.
I got you.
Yeah, but
Who
we're
would
just
you
saying
like
if we would want to, that'd be one of them.
Whose side of the argument would you want to hear, Vinny? Whose side? Whose side of the argument would you want to hear? Who would you like to see interviewed and ask questions about this?
MBS,
I was gonna say MBS.
MBS is with
He's not-
Bibi.
Saudi.
I'm saying like
Can you? Yeah.
I'm saying in an interview. So
Rob,
there wouldn't
can
be.
you ask MBS what is MBS's position? Does he defend Palestine or is he his position on Israel, Palestine, Iran, what position does he take? Because MBS does not want what's happening there. MBS wants peace in the Middle East. He does not like what Iran is doing.
Exactly.
The Gulf
At all.
states.
No, he's not. Firm support of Palestinian state. MBS says, report emphasizes Saudi Arabia will not normalize relations recognized based on 1979. He condemned Israel's Gaza reaction, and then he changed. While he acknowledges Israel's technological advancement strength from normalization, MBS is leveraging Saudi Arabia's regional influence, positioning the kingdom as a mediator, go a little bit lower after years of rivalry relations, the diplomatic has occurred in March of 2023. No, but recently, when he talked about Iran and was condemned, there's a recent interview that happened with MBS about Iran.
Yeah.
That he does not support what Iran is doing. Because even MBS, he's taking a hit on what's going on in the Middle East.
Well, the thing with MBS, if I may, publicly what they say is a lot different than what he's whispering. Publicly, he's going to stand
I'd love
with
to talk
Palestinians.
to him. I'd love to go to
He is
Saudi and talk.
whispering
Who
behind the
else would it
scenes
be?
that he's very
So MBS,
not much in favor of
MBS,
them.
I mean, like
I'd
we
love
said,
to go to Gaza. Tom, who else?
Erdogan, Turkey.
I would love you to sit down and talk to El-Sisi, who is the president of Egypt. Because Egypt had, you go from Sadat to Mubarak, you have a series of presidents there. Yeah, they have their tensions, but that reached the Camp David peace accords, and their Coptic Christians managed to live in Egypt with some persecution, but not getting exterminated that I've seen. If there's articles out there that say something different, okay, I'll go that. But Egypt has seemed to be trying to get its place. And so I'd like to see you talk to El-Sisi. Say, look, you've built you signed the Camp David peace accords. You have a tradition of détente that's dated back and cooperation dated back to Anwar Sadat in 1970s. So it's 50 years now. And
by the way, Sadat was the only one that supported Mohammed Reza Pahlavi to live there when he was in exile.
Yep, and Sadat then paid a cost for it politically.
Yes,
he was assassinated in his own country. President Jimmy Carter went and walked the exact place where he was assassinated and broke down and cried there. And I'd love you to see El-Sisi. Say, look, you got this big wall, but you got this history of kind of cooperation. Why not one? And you've built, when you talk about building walls, you're at the Olympic level, man. You guys have built a wall.
You know what? I'd love to do that, Rob. Can we put that to the list? I'd love to go to Egypt and see if we can speak with
El-Sisi.
Yeah, I just want to see what is the position of some of the people. And by the way, anybody else that's watching this right now, and you have any other recommendations, go to Connect Circle. By the way, that Connect Circle grew by 1,000 yesterday just to see Tom doing the pushing the weights. If you guys didn't see Tom doing the pushing of 135 pounds,
monster.
And who did more, Vinny, Adam, we went through the whole thing. Go to Connect Circle, make any of the recommendations. There's 3 tiers. There's a freemium that you just get the notes and see what's going on. There's a second tier where you get to comment and network with others. And number 3 is you can do video, anything else you want to do, the full package. But go to Connect Circle and let us know if you have any recommendations on who you'd like to see us interview next on this specific topic. I'd like this thing to stop, but I also think a lot of people are confused because all they see is, where it's such an easy country to hate. Once a year we get together. I can't wait to see everybody this year. This is going to be the biggest one by a mile. Record-breaking attendance coming to this event here from all over the world. 3.5-day strategy session, business, all the stuff that we'll be doing. It's a very unique experience if you haven't been to it. Orlando Gaylord, if you want to get registered, go to thevolconference.com. This year's sponsor, the title sponsor of this entire event is Goliath Ventures, founder Chris Delgado. We've spent a lot of time with these guys. They've come to Yankees games with us. They've been coming to Vol conferences for the last God knows how many years. Goliath was founded in 2019, a private global equity firm focused on blockchain and decentralized finance, built on 3 pillars: technology, opportunity, and community. Core belief: blockchain is the foundation of a generational wealth shift. You can go search them, Goliath Ventures, Inc.com, to learn more about them. They'll be at the Vol conference all over the place. But tonight, those of you that bought the ticket that are coming here, I told you it's going to be special. I'm going to whisper you for the last time. If you're around the Florida area, you want to come to the networking event tonight on the campus. Do you know we're going to have Ferrari SP3s here? I don't know if you know what an SP3 is. Rob, can you pull up what an SP3 is, Ferrari SP3? You're talking about Ferrari SP3.
It's a modern homage to a classic shape.
Finding this car, Vinny.
Holy moly.
It's a $5 million car. It'll be on the lot.
It's just pulling up.
We will have a LaFerrari on the lot. We will have multiple $5 million cars on the lot for you to come by and see. You'll have Senna's 1989 McLaren car. You'll have jets to get on and see for some of you guys that have CEOs and founder tickets. You will see the hangar opened up, bunch of new things that nobody's seen before. Anybody that's a platinum and an executive, you'll get a tour. Founders and CEOs, you'll get a tour from me. And then right afterwards, anybody that's platinum and executive up, you will be able to go to the cigar lounge to hang out with each other, have drinks, have conversations at the boardroom, obviously on the other side, and then platinum will be on the back. The members, boardroom members, but you'll get a chance to actually see the cigar lounge. This is the manual, by the way, Rob, if you want to play this clip. This year's Vault Conference.
Gang, for those of you guys that are going to the Vault Conference, manual is here. This year it is 296 pages.
Holy moly. That
Oh
looks sick.
my goodness. We cannot
can't
wait
wait
to
for
go
it. I
through this with
cannot.
all of you at
Wow, that looks
the
amazing.
Vault
right.
Conference.
You know when we start working on this
Looking forward
manual?
to seeing you there.
A week after the Vault ends for next year. That's when we start working on next year's conference. Yeah, so we can't wait to see everybody. Anyways, if you haven't yet registered, pretty much last chance. 12 days left to the event. Go to thevaultconference.com. Again, go to thevaultconference.com. It's becoming the #1 business event for serious growth because you actually get strategies on how to take your business and your life to the next level. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.